to English with Avika. So, in this today's video, we are going to do a chapter from class 10th first flight. The name of the chapter is Glimpses of India. So, Glimpses of India is an anthology. Basically, it is a collection of stories that takes readers on a journey through different parts of India, showing its unique culture, tradition, and landscape. So, this chapter is just not written by one author, it includes work from several writers, each of them focusing on different aspect of India. One of the most popular stories is A Baker from Goa, which is written by Lucio Rodriguez. And this story basically tells you about a traditional baker community in Goa and how their special baking skills are passed down through generations. Another story, Coorg by Lokesh Abrol, it describes the beautiful hill and coffee plantation of Coorg, a place which is of course known for its natural beauty and rich culture. And the final story is Tea from Assam, which is written by Arup Kumar Datta. Now, this story it takes us to Assam, a region famous for its tea gardens, where we learn about the tea growing process and its importance to the local people. So, together, these stories give us a glimpse into different parts of India, celebrating the country's diverse way of living. So, let's dive into it and start with the first topic, A Baker from Goa. Nostalgia for Portuguese days. Now, the elders in Goa often talk about the good old Portuguese days. When the Portuguese ruled Goa, they recall the famous loaves of bread that were introduced during that time. Even though Portuguese left, their bread making tradition remained in Goa. The bakers, also known as padders, are still present, carrying forward the legacy of their ancestors. The old baking furnaces are still used and the method of baking bread have remained unchanged. The sound of the baker's bamboo staff hitting the ground, a rhythmic thud or a jingle sound, it can still be heard in some places, marking the baker's arrival in the morning. Many of the old bakers may have passed away, but their sons have continued the profession. Now, the key idea is that though time has changed, the tradition of baking continues. Now, the question arises that why were the children so excited? So, the answer is it was not for the loaves of bread, which were brought by the housemaids, Paskin and Bastin. I mean, the adults basically. The children were excited because they loved the special bread bangles and sometimes a sweet bread of a special kind. The fragrance of fresh bread was something they eagerly awaited every morning. The baker's daily routine and the children's excitement. Now, during childhood, the baker was more than just a seller. He was considered a friend, companion, and a guide, as told by the author. Baker's daily visit was almost twice a day, morning round, evening round. Morning round when he set out to sell fresh breads, and evening round when he returned after selling everything. How he used to announce his arrival. So, the baker used to carry a large basket of bread on his head. He used a special bamboo staff to make a musical sound, jhang jhang. This jingling sound woke up the children who eagerly ran to meet him. Now, the author has also mentioned few of the funny details. The children were so excited to meet the baker that they didn't even bother to brush their teeth before eating. In those days, people used a mango leaf as a toothbrush, but children avoided the trouble of plucking one. So they jokingly argued, the tiger never brushes his teeth, so why should we? So they believed that hot tea could clean their mouths properly, making brushing unnecessary. So again, the key idea is the baker's visit was an exciting event for the children, which filled them with delight of fresh bread and a playful habit. All this discussion leads up to one single question: why bread? What was the importance of bread in Goan culture? So, Bread played a vital role in Goan traditions, festivals, and celebration. Marriage gifts, in fact, were incomplete without a special sweetbread called bol. Parties and feasts were considered meaningless without bread. So, during a daughter's engagement, the lady of the house had to prepare sandwiches using fresh bread. Special Goan delicacies like cakes and bulinhas were a must for Christmas and other festivals. Now, since bread was an essential part of life, having a baker's furnace in the village was absolutely necessary. So, bread was not just food here, it was a cultural necessity for every important occasion in Goa. Enough about the breads. Now, let's come to the appearance part and the outfits part. So, how the padders or the bakers used to, dress up. So, the bakers of Goa had a unique dressing style. Earlier, they wore a traditional outfit called kabai, a long single piece frock reaching down to the knee. I hope I can show you with this picture right here. Later, they started wearing a shirt and a trouser that were shorter than full length pant but longer than half pants. Even today, if you go to Goa, if someone wears such a trouser, people jokingly say he is dressed like a padder. So the baker's outfit was distinct. And even today, another important detail that the author discussed in the particular story was about the baker's financial status and lifestyle. Now, baking was a profitable profession, and bakers never suffered from poverty. The bakers collected his payment at the end of the month instead of daily. So, monthly accounts were recorded on the walls of the houses in pencil. Bakers were financially well off. They and their families, including their servants, were always happy and prosperous. Now, let's talk about their physique. So, the baker's plump body was considered a sign of wealth and good health. Even today in Goa, a fat person is humorously compared to a baker. Now, bakers were financially stable and their well fed bodies were proof of their prosperity. In conclusion, this passage is a beautiful recollection of childhood memories and Goa's rich bread making tradition. The Portuguese may have left Goa, but their baking legacy remains. Bakers are still respected figures, and bread remain a cultural necessity in every Goan household. The passage captures the joy of childhood, the excitement of waiting for the baker, and the cultural significance of bread.